अस्सलाम वालेकुम स्टूडेंट्स, वेलकम टू माय चैनल। आज हम EDUA 510 के मिड टर्म प्रिपरेशन के लिए लेक्चर वाइज इंपॉर्टेंट शॉर्ट क्वेश्चन आंसर्स जो है वो स्टार्ट कर रहे हैं। पार्ट 2 है ये इस वीडियो का। इसमें हम लेक्चर नंबर 12 से लेक्चर 22 तक कवर करेंगे। तो चलिए स्टार्ट करते हैं। व्हाट इज यूनिट वाइज वेटेज इन मैथमेटिक्स असेसमेंट? It is the allocation of marks according to the importance and coverage of each unit in the curriculum. Why is unit-wise weightage important? It ensures fair assessment and balanced coverage of all curriculum units. What is topic-wise development? It is the systematic arrangement of topics from simple to complex for effective learning. What is lesson planning? Lesson planning is the process of organizing objectives, activities, methods, and assessment from teaching. Why is lesson planning important? It helps teacher teach effectively and achieve learning objectives systematically. What are learning objectives? Learning objectives are statements describing what a student should know or be able to do after instruction. What is the role of teacher aid in lesson planning? Teaching aids improve understanding and make learning more interesting. What is assessment in lesson planning? Assessment is the process of checking whether students have achieved the learning objectives or not. What is meant by lesson introduction? It is the opening part of a lesson used to gain students' attention and connect prior knowledge. What is lesson closure? Lesson closure summarizes key concepts and reinforces learning. How does topic-wise development help a student? It helps a student understand concepts gradually and logically. What is the purpose of a six-step lesson plan? It provides a structured framework for effective teaching and learning. What should assessment align? Why should assessment align with objectives? Because it measures whether the intended learning outcomes have achieved or not. How does lesson planning improve classroom management? It keeps instruction organized and reduces confusion during teaching. What is the role of teacher in lesson planning? The teacher plans objectives, methods, activities, resources, and assessment to facilitate learning. What is meant by teaching methodology in lesson planning? It refers to the instructional approach used to deliver content effectively. Why is organization important in lesson planning? Organization ensures smooth delivery of content and better student understanding. What is the relationship between curriculum and lesson planning? Lesson planning translates curriculum goals into classroom instruction. What makes a lesson plan effective? Clear objectives, suitable activities, proper assessment, and logical sequencing make a lesson plan effective. How does lesson planning benefit student? It provides structured learning experience and improves achievement of learning outcomes. What is lesson plan template? A lesson plan template is a structured format used to organize objectives, activities, teaching methods, and assessments. Why is lesson plan template important? It helps teacher organize instruction and achieve learning objectives effectively. What is set? A set is a well-defined collection of objects or elements. What is union set? The union of sets contains all elements that belongs to either set or both set. What is the intersection of sets? The intersection contains only the elements common to both sets. What is the De Morgan's law? The De Morgan's law provides rules for simplifying complements of unions and intersections of sets. Why is De Morgan's law important? It helps simplify complex set expressing and logical relationship. What is an angle? An angle is formed when two rays meet at a common endpoint called a vertex. What is geometry? Geometry is a branch of mathematics that studies shapes, sizes, lines, angles, and space. What is tangent? A tangent is a line that touches a circle at exactly one point. What is the point of tangency? It is the point where a tangent touches a circle. What is the relationship between a radius and a tangent? A radius drawn to the point of tangency is perpendicular to the tangent. Why are examples used in lesson plan? Examples help students understand abstract concepts more clearly. What should be included in lesson plan, or what are the steps of lesson plan? Objectives, teaching methods, activities, teaching aids, and assessment. Why are visual aids important in geometry teaching? They make geometric concepts easier to understand and visualize. What is the purpose of lesson objective? They define the expected outcomes of learning. How does lesson planning improve teaching? It provides organization and ensure effective instruction. Why should geometry be taught with practical examples? Practical examples make concept meaningful and easier to understand. What is the role of assessment in lesson planning? Assessment measures a student's achievement of learning objective. How do lesson plan examples benefit teacher? They provide practical guidance for effective classroom implementation. What is linear equation? A linear equation is an equation in which the highest power of the variable is 1. What is the graph of a linear equation? The graph of a linear equation is a straight line. What is a quadratic equation? A quadratic equation is an equation in which the highest power of the variable is 2. What is the graph of quadratic equation called? The graph of quadratic equation is called a parabola. What is trigonometry? Trigonometry is the branch of mathematics that studies relationships between angles and sides of triangles. What is the problem solving method in mathematics? Problem solving is the process of applying mathematical knowledge and reasoning to find solutions. Why is problem solving important? It develops critical thinking, reasoning, and decision making skills. What is the first step in problem solving? The first step is understanding and analyzing the problem. What is the importance of lesson planning for equation? It helps organize instruction and achieve learning objectives effectively. What are the characteristics of a good mathematical problem? A good mathematical problem should be meaningful, challenging, clear, and related to learning objectives. How does problem solving improves learning? It encourages students to apply concepts rather than memorize facts. Why should mathematics lesson include activities? Activities increase engagement and improve conceptual understanding. What is the role of a teacher in problem solving? The teacher guides a student and help them develop strategies for finding solutions. How is trigonometry useful in real life? It is used in measurement, engineering, navigation, and construction. Why is conceptual understanding important in mathematics? It helps students apply knowledge in different situations and solve problems effectively. What is the final step of a problem solving? The final step is checking and evaluating the solution. How do good problems support learning? They encourage thinking, reasoning, and application of mathematical concepts. What is a problem solving strategy? A problem solving strategy is a planned method used to find solutions to mathematical problem. What is heuristic approach? A heuristic approach is a general problem solving technique that helps students discover solutions through exploration and reasoning. Why is heuristic important in mathematics? Heuristic encourage flexible thinking and help a student solve unfamiliar problem. What is mathematical thinking? Mathematical thinking is the ability to analyze, reason, and solve problems logically. What is trial and error strategy? It is a method where different possible solutions are tested until the correct one is found. What is meant by working backward? Working backward means starting from the desired result and tracing steps back to the beginning. Why are diagrams useful in problem solving? Diagrams help students visualize information and understand relationships within a problem. What is the importance of mathematical thinking? It develops reasoning, analysis, and critical thinking abilities. How can teacher promote problem solving? Teacher can use real-life example, discussions, and problem-solving activities to promote problem solving. What are problem solving activities? They are tasks designed to help students practice reasoning and applying mathematical concepts. Why is active participation important in problem solving? It helps students engage with concepts and develop deeper understanding. What is the benefit of exploration in mathematics? Exploration allows students to discover patterns and relationships independently. How does problem solving improve learning? It strengthens conceptual understanding and encourages application of knowledge. What is logical reasoning? Logical reasoning is the process of drawing conclusions based on facts and evidence. Why should mathematics teaching focus on process as well as answers? Understanding the process helps students solve similar problems independently. How do heuristic methods support learning? They encourage creativity, investigation, and multiple solution paths. What characteristics should a good problem solving activity have? It should be meaningful, challenging, engaging, and related to learning objectives. What is the main goal of teaching problem solving? The main goal is to develop independent, confident, and logical thinker. Who was George Polya? George Polya was a mathematician who developed a systematic four-step method for solving mathematical problems. What are the four steps of Polya method? Understanding the problem, devising a plan, carrying out the plan, and looking back. Why is understanding the problem important? Without understanding the problem correctly, student cannot choose any appropriate solution strategy. What is meant by devising a plan? It is selecting a suitable strategy or method to solve the problem. Give one example of a problem solving strategy. Drawing a diagram is a common problem solving strategy. Why should a student check their answer? Checking helps identify mistakes and confirms the correctness of the solution. How does Polya's method help students? It develops logical thinking and systematic problem solving skills. What is the teacher's role in teaching Polya's method? The teacher guides students through each step and encourages reasoning. How does problem solving improve learning? It helps students apply concepts and develop deeper understanding. Why should a student explain their reasoning? Explaining reasoning strengthens understanding and communication skill. What is the importance of planning in problem solving? Planning helps a student organize ideas and choose effective strategies. How does looking back improve problem solving? It allows students to learn from mistakes and improve future performance. What skills are developed through Polya's method? Critical thinking, reasoning, analysis, and decision making skills are developed through Polya's method. What is mathematical communication? Mathematical communication is the process of expressing, discussing, and sharing mathematical ideas and reasoning. Why is mathematical communication important? It helps a student understand concepts, explain reasoning, and improve problem solving skill. What is mathematical language? Mathematical language consists of symbols, terms, expressions, and vocabulary used in mathematics. What's the role of mathematical symbols? Symbols represent mathematical operations and relationships in a concise form. What is mathematical terminology? Mathematical terminology refers to the specialized vocabulary used in mathematics. How does communication improve mathematical learning? It allows students to explain ideas, ask questions, and clarify misunderstanding. Why should a student explain their solution? Explaining solutions strengthens understanding and develops reasoning skill. How can teacher promote mathematical communication? Teacher can encourage discussion, questioning, and explanation of solution. Why is mathematical vocabulary important? It helps a student understand concepts and communicate mathematical idea effectively. What classroom activities improve mathematical communication? Group discussion, presentations, and explaining solutions improve communication skills. How does communication support reasoning? Students learn to justify answer and explain their thinking logically. What is the teacher's role in developing communication skills? The teacher creates opportunities for students to discuss and explain mathematical idea. How does mathematical communication promote active learning? Students participate in discussion and engage with concepts more deeply. Why should mathematical communication be encouraged from an early age? It builds confidence and develops conceptual understanding. What is the benefit of using correct mathematical terminology? It improves clarity and accuracy in communication. How does communication help teacher assist learning? It reveals students' understanding and identifies misconception. What is the main objective of mathematical communication? The main objective is to develop clear understanding and effective expressions of mathematical ideas. What is mathematical representation? Representation is the expression of mathematical ideas through symbols, diagrams, graphs, models, or other forms. Why is mathematical representation important? It helps the student understand abstract concepts and communicate mathematical ideas effectively. What are the main types of mathematical representation? The main types include visual, symbolic, verbal, and concrete representations. What is visual representation? Visual representation uses picture, diagrams, graphs, and charts. Give example of visual representation. Examples include graphs, number lines, charts, diagrams, and geometric figures. What is symbolic representation? Symbolic representation uses the mathematical symbols, numbers, and equations to express ideas. Give an example of a symbolic representation. The equation of 4 plus 5 equals to 9 is a symbolic representation. How do visual representation help a student? They make concepts easier to understand by providing a visual image of the idea. Why are symbols important in mathematics? Symbols provide a concise and universal way of expressing mathematical relationship. What is the role of representation in problem solving? Representation helps students organize information and identify solution strategies. How do representations support communication? They help a student explain and share mathematical thinking clearly. Why should teacher use multiple representations? Different representations help a student understand concepts from different perspectives. How do graphs help in mathematics? Graph visually display data and relationships between variables. What is a number line? A number line is a visual representation used to show numbers and their relationship. How does representation improve conceptual understanding? It connects abstract ideas with concrete and visual experiences. What is the relationship between representation and learning? Effective representation make learning more meaningful and easier to understand. Why are diagrams useful in mathematics? Diagrams simplify complex concepts and improve visualization. What is the teacher's role in using representation? The teacher selects appropriate representation to support learning and understanding. How do multiple representations benefit a student? They strengthen understanding and help students make connections between concepts. What is the main objective of mathematical representation? The main objective is to improve understanding, communication, and problem solving skill. What are manipulative? Manipulatives are physical objects that students can handle and use to learn mathematical concepts. Why are manipulative important in mathematics? They help a student understand abstract concepts through concrete experiences. Give example of manipulative. Example include blocks, counters, beads, geometric shapes, and fraction strips. What is a concrete learning experience? A concrete learning experience involves hands-on interaction with objects to understand concept. How do manipulative support learning? They allow students to explore, discover, and visualize mathematical idea. Why are manipulative important in early childhood education? Young children learn best through direct interaction with materials and experiences. That's why. What is the role of teaching materials in mathematics? Teaching materials make learning more meaningful, interesting, and understandable. How do manipulatives improve conceptual understanding? They connect real objects with mathematical ideas and relationships. What is the teacher's role when using manipulative? The teacher guides students and help them connect activities to mathematical concepts. How do manipulatives increase student engagement? Students actively participate and interact with learning materials. Why should manipulatives be selected carefully? They should match learning objectives and students' need. What is the relationship between concrete and abstract learning? Concrete experiences provide the foundation for understanding abstract concepts. How can block be used in mathematics teaching? Blocks can be used for counting, grouping, patterns, and place value activities. What are fraction strips? Fraction strips are manipulatives used to teach fractions and part-whole relationship. How do teaching materials support problem solving? They help students visualize and explore solution. What is active learning? Why is active learning important in mathematics? Active learning improves understanding, retention, and participation. What are the benefits of hands-on activities? They improve engagement, understanding, and critical thinking. How do manipulatives help in geometry? They help a student explore shape, size, and spatial relationships. What makes the use manipulative effective? Clear objectives, proper guidance, and meaningful activities make their use effective. What is the main objectives of using manipulative? The main objective is to make mathematics meaningful and understandable through concrete experiences. What is technology in mathematics education? Technology in mathematics education refers to the use of digital tools and sources to support teaching and learning. Why is technology important in mathematics teaching? It improves engagement, visualization, understanding, and problem solving skills. How are computers used in mathematics education? Computers are used for graphing, simulation, calculations, and interactive learning activities. What is educational software? Educational software is a computer program designed to support learning and instruction. Give example of digital learning resources. Examples include educational websites, videos, apps, online exercises, and interactive simulations. How does technology improve mathematical understanding? It provides visual and interactive experiences that make concepts easier to understand. What's one benefit of educational software? One benefit of educational software is it often provides immediate feedback to students. How do digital resources support independent learning? A student can access materials and practice activities at their own. What role do simulation play in mathematical learning? Simulation helps the student explore mathematical concepts in realistic situations. How does technology support problem solving? It allows the students to test ideas, visualize solutions, and explore different strategies. What is the role of the teacher when using technology? The teacher guides the student and integrates technology into meaningful learning activities. Why should technology be used purposefully? Technology should support learning objectives rather than being used without educational value. How do interactive activities benefit students? They increase participation, motivation, and conceptual understanding. What is digital learning resources? Digital learning resources is any electronic material used to support learning. How does technology promote active learning? Students interact with content rather than passively receiving information. What are the advantages of visual representation through technology? They help students understand abstract mathematical concepts more easily. Can technology replace teacher? No. Technology support teaching, but teachers remain essential for guidance and instruction. How does educational software provide feedback? It automatically checks answer and informs students about their performance. Why is technology useful in modern mathematics education? It makes learning more accessible, interactive, and engaging. What is the main objective of using technology in mathematics education? The main objective is to improve students' understanding and learning outcomes. What is assessment in mathematics? Assessment is the process of collecting information to measure students' mathematical understanding and achievement. What is the purpose of assessment? The purpose of assessment is to evaluate learning, identify weakness, and improve instruction. Why is assessment important in mathematics? It helps teacher determine whether learning objectives have been achieved or not. What are the main types of assessment? The main type of assessments are formative and summative assessment. What is formative assessment? Formative assessment is conducted during instruction to monitor progress and improve learning. What is summative assessment? Summative assessment is conducted at the end of instruction to evaluate overall achievement. What's the example of formative assessment? Example include quizzes, questioning, observation, assignments, and classroom. These are the examples of formative assessment. Give examples of summative assessment. Examples include final exams, term exams, and end of unit test. How does formative assessment benefit a student? It provides feedback that helps a student improve their learning. How does formative assessment benefit teacher? It helps teachers adjust teaching method according to students' need. What is main focus of summative assessment? Main focus is measuring overall learning outcome and achievement. Why should assessment be aligned with objectives? It ensures that assessment makes the intended learning outcome. What role does feedback play in assessment? Feedback helps a student identify strengths and areas for improvement. How does assessment improve teaching? Assessment results help teachers modify instruction and address learning gaps. What is the difference between formative and summative? Formative assessment improves learning during instruction, while summative assessment evaluates learning after instruction. What is the ultimate purpose of assessment? Ultimate purpose of assessment is to improve student learning and educational outcomes. What is evaluation? In mathematics, evaluation is the process of making judgments about the effectiveness of teaching and learning based on assessment data. What is the difference between assessment and evaluation? Assessment collects information about learning, while evaluation interprets the information and makes judgment. Why is evaluation important? Evaluation help improve teaching methods, learning outcomes, and educational decision making. What is the relationship between assessment and evaluation? Assessment provide data, while evaluation uses the data to make decision and judgment. What is meant by objective evaluation? Objective evaluation is free from personal bias and is based on evidence. What is reliability in evaluation? Reliability means that evaluation produces consistent results under a similar condition. What is validity? In evaluation, validity means that evaluation measures what it is intended to measure. How does evaluation improve teaching? It identifies strengths and weaknesses in instruction and suggests areas for improvement. How does evaluation help a student? It provides information about their progress and learning needs. Why should evaluation be evidence based? Evidence based evaluation leads to accurate and fair decision. What are the characteristics of good evaluation? Good evaluation should be valid, reliable, objective, and useful. How can evaluation improve mathematics education? It helps define teaching strategies and improve student achievement. What is educational improvement? Educational improvement refer to enhancing teaching, learning, and assessment practices. Why is feedback important in evaluation? Feedback help identify strengths and areas requiring improvement. How does evaluation helps teacher? It enables teachers to review and improve instructional practices. Continuous evaluation helps monitor progress and support ongoing improvement. What is the main focus of evaluation? The main focus is determining the quality and effectiveness of teaching and learning. What is the ultimate purpose of evaluation? The ultimate purpose is to improve educational quality and student learning outcomes. इसके साथ ही हमारी ये वीडियो शॉर्ट क्वेश्चन आंसर्स की कंप्लीट होती है। मिड टर्म के तमाम शॉर्ट क्वेश्चन आंसर जो है वो कंप्लीट हो जाते हैं। पार्ट 1 अगर आपने नहीं देखा है तो आप उसको भी लाजमी स्टडी कर ले। इन क्वेश्चन आंसर से आप लॉन्ग क्वेश्चन और एमसीक्यूज में भी अच्छा परफॉर्म कर सकेंगे। मुझे उम्मीद है कि ये वीडियो आपके लिए बहुत यूजफुल रहेगी। चैनल पर नए हैं तो सब्सक्राइब करना हरगिज ना भूलिएगा ताकि मजीद मेरी इसी तरह की वीडियोस आप तक पहुंच सकें जिनसे आप अपने एग्जाम्स की अच्छी प्रिपरेशन कर सकें। इंशाल्लाह ताला मैं अपने नई वीडियो के साथ फिर हाजिर होंगी। तब तक आप सब अपना बहुत ख्याल रखिएगा। अल्लाह हाफिज।